Welcome to Lessons with Wesley. If this found you, it was meant to. Take a moment to pause, reflect, and breathe. You're entering a sacred space of tarot, of oracle, meditations, ogham, and soul-centered wisdom. There are no coincidences here, only invitations. Lessons with Wesley.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to episode 17, Lessons with Wesley. I apologize for not getting this out sooner, but guess what? Mr. Ginn took a little break yesterday. Y'all, if it hadn't been for Nathan, he and I going for a walk, I probably wouldn't have gotten over 2,000 steps yesterday. I tell you what, I just vegged on the couch, but you know what? That's what my body needed, and that's what I did. So anyway, I hope you all are doing well. So I was thinking, I was like, what can I do today? And I said, you know what I want to do? I didn't release an extra episode during Halloween, but I wanted to go into something that I thought would be really cool and fun for episode 17. So episode 17, as you can see from the title, is called Shadow Work. Now don't be afraid of that, working in the shadows. No, shadow work with sound bowls. So today I'm going to give you a couple of journal prompts. I want to give you a couple of journal prompts. I want you to reflect on that, on the journal prompts. And as you're reflecting on it, I figured, you know what? Why not play some sound bowls? So I think I have it set up pretty well where the microphone might be able to pick these up. Hopefully it works well. So we'll see how it goes. So here we go. So I was going to share some different things that the ancient Celts used to do. And one of those things is scripting. Now, I'm not going to talk about scripting right now. I might talk about scripting probably in episode 19. I'm going to want to do a whole episode about scripting. And scripting is basically when you have a journal. Say you're looking for a job. Well, you journal as if you already got that job. And you start talking about that job, about the wonderful time you had and the people you met. So that scripting, it's like what they did in the ancient Celts. 13 days up to their New Year's Eve, which is October 31st, they would, like here in America, we would do New Year's resolutions. Well, they don't do that. They basically kind of do scripting. I have this. I have lost 35 pounds and I feel great. I have the car that I've been looking for, and you start talking about it. Anyway, whatever your intentions are, that's what scripting is. For example, you had a bad day, you come home, you script, you flip it around, you talk about as if your day were great, and you just start putting that mindset out there. That's what it is. But anyway, so that'll be later. So what is shadow work? Shadow work, it's basically when you stop and reflect, you face inner wounds, some regrets that you have, or some patterns that you just need to let go of, like you're stuck in a cycle. So I've got some 3 prompts. I'm just going to do all 3 and let you reflect on them. Part 1, first prompt, what part of me longs to be seen? Second, what story am I ready to stop telling? And then 3, what is the gift in my darkness? So now that can sound a little scary. So before we start to reflect and I play the sound bowls. What darkness? What does it mean? It could be don't think that the darkness is something necessarily evil or wrong. It's just what's unseen, what's rejected, or what's something that's unloved, either within me that I don't love, or could be some emotional pattern, some recurring emotional pattern like anger, jealousy, fear. Do you hide a part of yourself that you were taught to hide, like sensitivity Were you taught to hide your sexuality or your voice? Do you have some old wound or trauma that you just cannot get rid of? Did someone belittle you? Do you have like some limiting beliefs? Some behavior that once served you that you did as an armor or protection, something you need to get rid of. So what we have, we've got the gift. Before I go into the journal prompts, do you have some deep anger? What does that mean? Does that have some boundaries you need to look at? Do you have this inner fear of rejection? Does that mean you have some gift of discernment that needs to awaken? Are you a people pleaser? What does that mean? Is that something you need to get rid of? So why am I a people pleaser? Is it because I had this gift of empathy and connection? I need to find some balance. Grief, loss. I know a lot of people struggle with grief or loss. Why? And grief is okay, and it's always going to be there when you've lost someone that you love. But why? What is this hidden gift underneath that grief? Well, what does that tell us? Well, you might have this strong compassion or depth or just some spiritual insight. Are you a perfectionist? Is that getting in the way of your life? Is that something in the darkness that you need to work on? But what's the gift hidden underneath that perfectionist? You hold yourself, other people to a high standards. You're devoted to integrity, which is great to have. So when you talk about looking in the darkness, that's what it is. It's about finding something negative or dark and flipping it around. So what is this? What can I learn from looking in? What part of me do I need to bring out? What wisdom do I need to bring to the surface? So once again, those journal prompts, let me find those again. So those journal prompts, in just a second, I'm going to start to play the sound bowls. And as I'm playing those sound bowls, think about it as a washing, a music, a sound bath that's going over you. Once again, journal 1. What part of me longs to be seen? What am I hiding? And why? Why am I hiding it? 2, what story am I ready to stop telling? Or like that perfectionist or that anger, I'm ready for this story to end. And then bring the gift that's hiding underneath. What is that gift